My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to SpellRogue. Alright, let's go in with our second character here, Hazel. Hazel starts with Regrowth, which returns the dice itself with a +1 value. You can cast it 3 times a turn and you can put anything in it. And then a 4 countdown spell called Bulwark, which gives you 4 block, castable 3 times a turn, and Earth Spike, which is any even die. It will return X, the even value, +1 damage to the front enemy. It can be cast 3 times a turn. Alright, let's take your loadout A, and let's get into mutation stages. So mutation stage number 1 is difficulty 2. Gives us +20% experience to try it. And we'll see what that means now. Mutation stage 1, I have to take 2 in cost from all of these. So obviously, since all of these cost 2 themselves, any of them will fulfill. So I just get to choose any of these 4 as the mutation that I have to play with. However, later mutation stages will have combinations of different things, such as a later mutation stage may be mutation 8, or mutation stage 4 might be, 8 cost, in which case I could select all of them. But I will also be offered at the time even more choices. So ultimately, you always get to choose what the downside for the higher level of difficulty you're willing to take is. Here we have Major Vex. Every 4th dice rolled receives Vex. There's also Fumble. On turn 2, receive a Fumble. You roll 1 less dice. Diminishment. Every 3rd turn, remove 1 charge from all spells. And Penance. Lose 1 max health when collecting a spell. I honestly think Penance is probably going to be the least difficult here. Starter artifact. Choose and gain a starter artifact. Let's do that. At the start of the combat, gain 2 blessing. Next turn, all initial dice rolled gain a +2 value up to a maximum of 6. So that won't overflow and give us additional dice. There's also Gaia's Grasp. On turn 1, roll a sapling, either a 1 or a 2, and a sapling dice persists between rounds, and at the start of the turn has a +1 value, or +1 to its value unless it's already a 6. Finally, Shimmering Totem. On turns 1 and 2, enchant a dice with Glimmer. When a Glimmer dice is used in a spell, +1 value to another random dice. I'm going to take Shimmering Totem here. None of these paths have 2 elites on, so let's just start barreling down one of them. With 11 health on the frontline enemy. Ooh. Hang on. So a Glimmer dice. When used in a spell, +1 value to another random dice. But if I put it in Regrowth, it returns itself. So it should still be Glimmered and still have the ability to raise another dice in value, yeah. Hey, that's so cool. Then I'll do 7 damage to the frontline enemy. Another 5 damage to the frontline enemy, taking them out. And then I'll protect myself against the backline enemy using a 5 in Bulwark to gain 4 block. Well, this is kind of funny. Oh, wow. Glimmer does have the ability to overload another 6 to give us an additional die. That's so cool. Take the gold and a new spell. Vine Grip. It's an 8 cooldown. You can cast it twice per turn. It deals 6 damage and applies to Dazed. Dazed gives the enemy the ability to do 33% less attack damage. There's also Infused Scales on a 3 to a 6. You can use it 2 times per turn. You gain X block, and then you return the dice with 2 less value. And finally, Bramble Growth. Gain Thorns. You can use the Thorns to retaliate with damage to attackers. I kind of want to re-roll here and see if I can get something a little rarer to build around, like Fortitude maybe. Gain 5 block. When it's depleted, gain a Barrier. Barrier gives you a block at the end of each turn. There's also Earthbane here. Use an odd, deal X damage, but if you use a 1, you also gain a barrier, and then instinct. Apply 1 marked for any die. I'm going to take the Fortitude. Marked, will recall, increases the damage taken by a target by 50% for the turn. Time for another battle. Bunch of 3s, eh? Whole mess load of 3s here. We're up against 2 Corrupted Ravagers. One of them is gaining Buried, which means it will take -2 damage received on each attack. So now I've got 2 6s. I can take out the Corrupt Ravager in the front line. I can do 7 damage twice with both of those 6s, and the Glimmer gives me a 4, so I can Bulwark defend myself from the incoming 3 damage. I guess I can generate a bunch of extra dice this way. Oops. Now I only have odds and I can't do anything about this enemy now. Oops. I also really don't need any block this turn, and I couldn't have gotten the barrier, so I do just have to wait. That said, the enemy is taking 2 less damage to each attack, but I also have enough damage to just overwhelm them anyway. Gold and a spell. Ultimate power. Double your power. Unrestorable. Well, I don't have any way to gain power right now, but that is a way to win. Let's take it and see how I can use it. Go to a random event. Choose and gain an attack spell, a defense spell, or, with 30 gold, choose and gain a void spell, which I'll do, because that often has power. Amalgamate. Merge 2 dice, gain 4 block. There's also Rewrite Reality. A 1 to a 4 gives you 1 block, and then you re-roll the dice, and then Tendrils. Deals 2 damage and applies 2 Rupture to 2 targets. Ooh, you can upgrade this to have 2 additional targets. That makes it really good after you have power. Rewrite Reality is probably the best one here, though. Unless I want to reroll, I'll do that. Okay, these are better. Inscribe on 5 countdown, -2 countdown cost to another spell this combat. I could make Fortitude cost 1 and then just start casting it constantly. There's also Mana Symmetry. On a 1 to a 3, duplicate dice. You can upgrade it to duplicate twice, wow. And Omniscience. On a 6, reroll dice and gain a Foresight. I'm taking Inscribe there. I don't need the ultimate power at the moment, but Inscribe seems like it'd be sick. So I guess I'm going for a kind of countdown build, which the Glimmer and the Regrowth should really, really help me fund. So I can upgrade the Inscribe to lower by 3 the cost of something else this combat. Alternatively, I could make Fortitude give 3 barrier when it's depleted. I really feel like Inscribe is going to be more impactful. Upgrading it to -3 countdown cost, that does mean only a 2 is needed to activate Fortitude, which is very accessible. I wouldn't even need to cast that on it twice. Sanctuary, choose from a range of gifts. Isn't that gift always health? Isn't that what haven't I found that so far? That the Sanctuary is always trying to give us health? If I destroy a spell for you, like Bulwark, which I will destroy, I would like max health because I am losing max health every time I pick up a new spell. Okay, sure, I'll go there. Yeah, gosh darn it, you convinced me. Let's inscribe the Fortitude first, so now it's only 2 costs for its countdown. I'm gonna cast one of them, because I do want to get the barrier. And then I can Earth Smite the enemy for 7 damage. And increase this again so that I can Fortitude for another barrier. Let's inscribe the Bulwark first. So now it's only 1 cost to defend for 4. And then I'll start using the Glimmer Train on these regrowths. Because if I use it 1 more time, I can generate an extra die. And that extra die gives the ability to start generating some defense. I should do a 6 worth of damage to the enemy at least every turn. They are going to be gradually getting more and more damage and attacks in. That said, I can make Fortitude only cost 1 for its next action. I do need Fortitude actually to cost 1, as it turns out in action here. Oh, I don't have Glimmer anymore. That's unfortunate. Oh, okay, so if a countdown spell already has investment in it, and then you decrease its cost, it keeps the investment and will cast itself if necessary. That's cool. That's really cool. Ignite, receive 2 damage whenever the spell is cast for 1 turn. That's fine. I can absolutely receive that damage. I'll deal 5 damage to the enemy, and then take 2 damage at the end of my turn. I gain 2 block more from the barrier I've gained from Fortitude. I'm going to have to use some regrowth this turn because I still want to get another Fortitude out. And that'll work. I can get 2 more Earth Spikes on the enemy for 7 damage apiece. They're almost down to half HP, but they are now intensifying again, so they're going to be doing 2 damage, or 2 attacks, rather, at the same time. I should have been doing way more damage earlier. Let's see what we can do, though. One and 2 in Fortitude. That'll defend us against 14 incoming damage, which turns out to be exactly how much damage the enemy is doing this turn, taking down to 25 remaining HP. Ooh, that barrier. That barrier. Fortitude, Ignite, receive whenever a spell is cast for 1 turn. Okay, I need to do some science. Do I get the block before I get the Ignite, or do I get the Ignite before I get the block? If I lose health here, okay, it's saying, oh, I love that it shows me the result of what I am about to do. That really helps clarify up any issues of intuition. Well, that's perfect. Big old Earth Spike, and then I'm not going to let you do any damage to me this turn, friend. Block a little more with a Bulwark. I only need a countdown that does damage, and then we're absolutely off to the races. Like, oh, what a time it'll be. There we go. Got that enemy down. Weakness gas, apply 5 weak to all enemies, as well as a spell. Oh. Gleaming exterior. On a 1 to a 5, gain twice as much block and a blessing. A blessing again is next turn all initial dice gain +1 value to a maximum of 6. There's savagery here as well. 2 odd die go into it, and it does that damage 2 times. I can apply weak or extra other stuff with it. Oaken Self. 2 dice of any kind go in, and I gain that much block. When this is depleted, I gain a blessing as well. And if I put 10 into the Oaken Self, I gain an additional dice. I'm going to reroll here because I really need, like, that's pretty much exactly what I need. Wild Strikes. Deal 3 damage to the front enemy 3 times. It's a countdown spell, and it's an attack spell, so I can lower the cost of this pretty drastically. Its upgrades either give me the ability to do more damage initially, 8 damage to the front enemy 3 times, or upgrade the cost, but it hits 2 additional times. So this is especially good. Obviously, this only proposes to do 15 damage versus, you know, the 24 damage the other one, the first upgrade is proposing to do. But upgrade B here does have the potential to carry a lot more damage using power. Anything that gives you additional damage for extra hits. I'm keen. Let's take Wild Strikes. Horn of Virtue, gain 8 block from a single spell casting. That would give us 1 blessing. That would be sick if Fortitude was not my source of defense. Because eventually... oh, hang on. Hang on. 8 block from a single spell cast. If I upgraded Fortitude to give me 9 block total, I could get 2 blessing a turn. That 2 blessing a turn makes it really easy to start generating a bunch of 6s, and those 6s give us extra dice through regrowth. Those extra regrowths and those extra die give us the ability to play out all of our countdowns. I honestly think the right play here is actually take the Horn of Virtue and then get another shard and use that second shard to upgrade Fortitude to do 9. I legitimately think that. I want max HP, and I'll give you Earth Spike for it. Thank you kindly. Golem has Nullify, negates the next status effect applied. I'm not applying status effect too. Also, wow, the 1 is glimmered here, so I can regrowth to get the additionals. Hell yeah. Oh, that's so many additional die. Enemy intends to debuff a random spell for us. I'm gonna need to do my 9 damage basically every turn from Wild Strikes. I don't need the barrier this turn as much as it. Yeah, Wild Strikes got broken there. Okay, let's lower the cost of Fortitude. And I need to cast Wild Strikes every turn. This is not working perfectly, but it's okay. The enemy is still only debuffing me and getting stronger. They haven't actually moved to do any aggressive actions yet. But once they do, I'm dead. Because I can only cast Wild Strikes once per turn. Oh, incoming 11 damage. What am I going to do about that? One, two, three. That gives us the ability to use our 6, not only to generate another 1, but also to inscribe the Fortitude. So now Fortitude only costs 1. Woohoo! That's enough for a full block. And the Wild Strikes will take you out next turn, buddy. Yeah, I'm on real thin ice. Gold and spell and hello! Growing Blade deals 7 damage. If lethal, permanently increase damage by 1. Well, if that's my only damage spell, that's actually way better. That's so much better. Oh my god, it's a farmyard! Oh, this is gonna be so good for us. Let's inscribe. Make the Growing Blade cost less. I do need to cast it this turn, so that I actually have the ability to kill someone with it next turn. And then after it's killed someone, it will have the ability to kill the other 2. As long as I kill a Friar in the back line, I can then kill the Brutes afterwards, and then I can go back to the final Friar at the end, and I will have an 11 damage Growing Blade. Unfortunately, we'll have to take 1 damage naturally this turn. But that's okay, I'm probably going to select a spell at the end of this fight anyway. So I'll lose a max HP to match. Snare. So if I cast that, I will receive 1 marked this turn. The thing is, 1 marked only causes me to take 1 more damage right now to the Corrupted Brute, so I'm not scared. I could hardly be less scared. I'll gain as much snare as you have. One Growing Blade hits lethal, so that's a permanent +1 to its damage now. And then I snare up ridiculously, sure. I'll take plus 50% damage for the next 3 turns. That'll be fine by me. It doesn't seem like many of you attack at the same time. Fungus Armor has been cast on all of you. Gain 4 block the next time you receive damage. Yes, but the thing is, both of these frontliners die when they next receive damage as well. Like that. And the Growing Blade grows. And it grows further. I refuse to pretend that I need to do anything else. I'm just gonna move to the next turn and then grow the blade 1 more. God, that's ridiculous. Lethal also doesn't trigger when you kill a summon, I just saw, hovering over it. Spike Seed, gain 5 thorns, another spell. Gleaming Force. When depleted, gain 1 power, or 3 power. I can either upgrade its damage, or I can upgrade the amount of power it gives us. There's also Onslaught, deal X damage. If marked as on the target, return the dice you used with a -1 value, and then solidify it. I'm going to take a reroll here, because I don't think any of these really make sense to me. Bramble Growth is Thorns, Savagery is damage to targets 2 times, and then Vine Grip. I'm going to take Savagery. I don't want Savagery. I'm immediately going to disenchant Savagery to gain 8 more max HP. Let's head into the boss battle. Against the Mother of Flames, who is summoning reinforcements. I need to use the Growing Blade every turn, because it's still my only source of damage. This will leave Fortitude with 1 in it. Oh man, those summons. I literally can only kill 1 of you per turn. I might need Thorns in this fight. Let's hit the Inscribe on Fortitude now. Mother of Flames is applying Soul Detonation to another random enemy. Don't know what that is, but I probably don't want it to happen. That Soul Detonation is... It explodes this round as its action, so it'll deal damage and then kill itself. Okay. I mean, if I have full defense, I don't really need to worry about that. Okay, is Ignite gonna trigger before or after the extra health that the extra block that I get from Fortitude being triggered by Inscribe? Before. Cool, that makes sense. So this one spell, including modifiers before and after it, are fully resolved before it then causes another spell to be resolved. Very intuitive result there, love it. We'll walk up so that I can safely do this. Mother of Flames is summoning reinforcements this turn. I can't just spend all of my turns hitting the Magma Suns. Eventually, I'm just going to have to be able to let them hit me and be okay with that. I think I'm going to start that now. So I end up taking 4 damage this turn. We're pretty close to a Bulwark being okay. Oh, that was also interesting. Mother of Flames summoned reinforcements, but summoned reinforcements when there was only 1 position, and then the reinforcement that was already summoned killed itself. So we end up with only 1 left on the board after that. That is a smooth line that I did not see. I am going to use both of my potions here because I do believe this fight is difficult. Weaken the enemies and also gain some thorns. There's the inscribe on Growing Blade, and here we are. Everything is as low cost as it can possibly be. Perfect. With everything as low cost as it possibly can be, anytime I put a 6 into regrowth, I just get the ability to cast one of my other things. Eventually, I'll be able to generate this effect really quickly in a fight, but right now, I'm capable of doing all 6 charges of all of my countdown spells, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm even going to use my Inscribe to lower the cost of Bulwark. It won't actually be able to lower it below the countdown cost of 1, but it will still trigger it. Oh, you actually do have 3 positions for summons. Never mind. I previously didn't know what I was talking about in terms of the mechanics of that, but now I know slightly more. That's a reasonable amount of defense, especially because I'm getting 6 barrier now, so 6 free block at the end of every single turn. 1, 2, 3. Bulwark up. It's a slow deck so far, certainly, but the Growing Blade is growing. Would you believe it's a blade too? Unfortunately, no increase in these dies gonna change anything. I can get up to a total of 5 on this one, and then they all spend for the same value in my spells right now. It's important I don't let the Mother of Flames die my thorns, which is fine because they blocked, so they're going to have enough health to survive my thorns this turn. Although I could also just kill their ally and then over-defend. That sounds a lot better. Here we go. Now it's time for the Growing Blade. Mother of Flames goes down, the Growing Blade goes up. Total of 12 damage on that now. Heal back up to full, gain 40 gold, gain a shard, and a boss artifact. On turn 1, roll 2 Ethers. Cost 1 and 2. So Ether reduces the countdown of a random spell by X at the start of the turn. That'll just cast some of my countdown spells for free. But the targeted ones I still get to target. That seems good. On turn 2, 4, and 6, rolled an even value die. On turns 1, 3, and 5, rolled an odd value die. I'm taking Etherweave. That seems ridiculously good for us. So I can either make Growing Blade impossible to cast, or I can give it the ability to be cast a second time per turn. That seems very valuable. That said, I also really want to get the 9 block out of Fortitude, which is much more defense, and the ability to use the Horn of Virtue much more consistently. I think often because I start my fight with Fortitude, I should start there. But Growing Blade, like if I... What? I'm doing it... fine, it's fortified. I don't know what to do. It's all good. It's all powerful. It's all lovely. It's all fun. Ah! What a nightmare. Again, no way of getting more than 2 elites in this, so easy for me to choose. Well, actually, it's harder for me to choose because 2 elites would be very easy to choose. I would just go for the 2 elites, you see. There's the Glimmer, and also this Glimmer is going to have the ability to give a random +1 to the Ether die as well, which is going to be fun. Mm-hmm. Go. 2 stacks of Blessing for the next turn. Actually, that's going to increase the value of the Ether dice as well. Desert Spirit is applying 2 Silenced. When spent in spell, apply 2 Mute to spell. Okay. Oh, 2 of my die that I roll will be silenced, I see. Yeah, there they are. Well, there's that free Fortitude I was talking about. Get that free Fortitude cast as well. Definitely time to throw out the Growing Blade. The frontline dude is getting Tenacity, which is kind of annoying. That Tenacity is that his block is not removed, so I'm going to have to hit him a couple of times. Get rid of all of that. There's that Blessing going off for us. And Fortitude fully casts itself. Oh, it was great. Throw a Growing Blade out on the field, and then I can Bulwark a bit. So cool. Let's inscribe the Bulwark. And then generate some 1s for the sake of casting Fortitude. Keeps my die value high on later turns. That'll do us. Sure, I'll lower the cost of the Growing Blade. Why not? Leave the turn taking no damage again, and finally unveiling the Plated Grub to the Growing Blade's damage. It automatically casts from the Ether die. Well, that works. Not really too much else to do here. Keep that blade growing. I really need to get it a second hit. Thank you for silencing my die. Thankfully, I only need one of them. turns out I don't even need one of them. This really does feel earthy. Slowly growing, but with incredible power. And this'll do it. Growing Blade continues to grow. Gold and spell. Ooh, Glintglaive. Ooh, Glintglaive. It's a countdown spell. It can be cast twice per turn and it does 22 damage. So I'm gonna need to lower its cost a lot to really work with it, but increases by 4 the damage for each blessing. Or it could increase by 10 for each blessing. 42 damage? That could be pretty good. It's also Earthquake and Sacred Shimmer. Sacred Shimmer? Sacred Shimmer would eventually just deal 7 damage and then return a die to me, but that's still not great. I do want to take Glintglaive, but I don't think I want to use Glintglaive until I have more sources of blessing in my deck. That could come from gaining additional sources of 8 extra or 8+ block in a single spell cast, or it could come from other things that give us blessing. I don't know. You know what? It doesn't feel like I do need Bulwark, actually. I can do this. Yeah, that's fine. Never mind. Immediately going back on everything I just said. Let's pick up our Ritual. Oh, attacks gain 20% lifesteal for 1 turn. That's pretty cool. Enchant 2 random dice with Manifold. ×2 value in countdown sockets and X effects. Not really things we work with. Countdown sockets, but on turn 2, we've already usually don't have to worry about that. Odd Cascade, roll 3 odd dice. Attacks gain 20% lifesteal for 1 turn. 20% lifesteal for 1 turn does make it a lot easier to take risks. But I really feel like I want something like odd dice, maybe. On the 3rd turn. On the 3rd turn, often. Yeah, I'm doing it. Let's hit an event. Gain Stellar Ward. With a 6, I can gain 2 block and roll 1 dice. Oh no, I don't have 150. I can't just get a shard for free. That'd be, well, for free. 150 gold would give me a shard here. That'd be great. Alas. Stellar Ward. I mean, I'll take it. I'm not going to turn it down. Gain 2 block, roll 1 dice. It just doesn't seem like it actually helps me. It's a way to get 6 block and reroll dice that I don't really care about the value of. Illusion Regen. Spawns illusions of itself every round, and the illusion's health is reduced to 1 on first hit. Let's inscribe quickly here. I want Fortitude. I'm even going to pay for Fortitude. This is so that the Glimmer on our 6 starts hitting the Ether die. It's another Fortitude. And then I will go Growing Blade for 1. Again, get a Glimmer to hit one of our Ether die, because those are persistent and just going to remain here, giving us better values for things. I'll put 1 into the Glintglaive so I can do that again by using Growing Blade for 14 damage on the enemy and upgrading our Ether die again. So we've got a 3 and a 4. And I take no damage this turn. Oh no! Oh no. Illusions their health is reduced to 1 on first hit, and then they die when the leader dies. That's gonna be hard for me. Oh dear. They're looking to apply some Daze to us this turn. I guess that sounds kind of reasonable. Let's inscribe the Glint Glaive so that I can actually start trying to use it for damage. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the 30 damage out of this Glint Glaive. Spending my ether die, unfortunately. Oh, okay, so at least the illusions die after they make their attack. That's good to know. Let's roll some extra odd dice. Yeah, those ones are really weird. Illusions can't be lethal. I can't imagine they don't count as summons for some reason. Yeah, let's inscribe Fortitude here. Three and a 6. You know what? Might as well test if the Growing Blade can get larger from illusory kill. Nope. Unless with Dazed, the increase is still rounding out to 9, because it's 9 before and now it's 9, but I am doing 33% less attack damage. That could actually be the case. Ooh, that's a load of 6s there. Thank you for all these extra free die. Okay, that's the actual leader, so I know I can finish them with the Growing Blade now. Hell yeah. Combat reward, another gold, weakness gas, spell. So power, just gains power. For countdown as well. There's also Carapace. There's also Carapace, gain 7 block and receive 1 sap. On an even, and cultivate might. A 5 or a 6. On an odd, gain X block. On an even, gain 1 power. I don't really want any of these. Closest would be so power, but I don't think I want to go back to that other builds. I think I do prefer what I'm currently working with. I could take a reroll, but I also know there's a shop upcoming, and I want to maintain my money. Up to 2 random dice persist between rounds, or a shard. Shard. And then I need to be able to cast the Growing Blade an extra time per turn, thank you. Lose Glint Glaive. Lose Wild Strikes. Ooh, on potion used, gain a concoction or lose soul power. Each turn, apply Portent to a random spell. A Portent spell must be played first in the turn, or else Portent's removed. But if it is played first, gain 1 power and remove Portent. I'm gonna go Dwarven Tankard. Use a potion, it will give you concoction, and I only have to lose my wild strikes for this. So I'm officially getting out of the power build. Ooh, Pox Flare. It costs 4. Interesting. Interesting. Which means that if I cast Inquire on it, I think it's Inquire, 1 time it is reduced to 1 cost. It deals 6 damage and applies 1 pox. On reaching 3 pox, deal 10 damage and remove 3 stacks of pox. That doesn't actually seem that great. Oh, unless you give it the ability to apply 2 pox, in which case you're doing, for 3 dice, 18, 38 damage. That's pretty easy to get to. There's also these artifacts here. Every 3rd turn, split a random dice in 2. Each turn, add a charge to a random spell. Lodestone. Triple the chances of getting rare spells in combat and potions from combat rewards. I do want that. And I want the enchanting effigy as well. So I'm going to sell off like ultimate power, bulwark, so power. Stellar Ward, I guess I could theoretically use at some point in the future. But let's take the Lodestone Lens. I don't think this is the kind of build where I'm going to have 25 plus available die. Time to hit this inscribe. A little bit of fortitude right there. We'll do it again. Now we full block, as well as gain some blessing. I'll put 4 into the Growing Blade and then 6 into the Glink Glaive. Because then the Growing Blade is still only an inscribe away from casting itself. That said, I do actually have to cast it 2 times in order to be able to take out the Decay Fairy. But I can also cast it 2 times in 1 turn, so what me worry. Let's inscribe the Growing Blade out onto the field. Great. Fortitude. Throw the next Growing Blade and take out the Imp. The blade grows yet again, and then it's time for Glint Glaive. Which unfortunately, due to sap, I didn't gain enough block in order to activate the blessings. That's okay though, I still increased the value of one of my ether die, so that's got worth. Let us inscribe the Growing Blade. We can do 2 more of those this turn. I actually could have won the fight this turn if I wanted to. I see. I was already planning to win the fight next turn. But if I'd used the Glint Glaive first by spending ether die, I could have done enough damage to set up the Growing Blade lethal. That said, Growing Blade is already lethal this turn. Victory, and it grows yet more. Proliferate, gain a grow, unrestorable. Grow gives you a power at the start of each round. There's also Bastion. 1 grow, that's so slow. Bastion, for 4 countdown, it has 2 charges, gain 2 block, increase block by 1 this combat. So eventually that would be pretty wild. Maul. Deal 6 damage. Gain block equal to unblocked damage dealt. So you would want other things to make Maul larger, like Fury or Power or any of those kinds of modifiers. None of those seem great for me, to be entirely honest. Bastion could eventually be, 4 charges of blessing each turn if I invest a huge amount of work into it. That doesn't seem that great to me. Proliferate? Gain 1 grow, very, very slowly get more powerful. I don't know about that. I just don't know about it. I'm gonna reroll. Morphosis. Deplete another spell. So deplete, remove all charges from that spell, as expected. Gain 1 power for each charge removed. We can see the natural synergies here of something like this with Gleaming Force. It has 3 charges, so you get 3 power for depleting something else. And when depleted, it gives you an additional power. I just don't see the value in Morphosis here either for us. I'm gonna take it, but I'm taking it for no good reason. I'm taking it theoretically in case I find something else that really wants me to deplete it. Let's inscribe the Growing Blade. Because we can kill a target this turn by using 2. And I'm actually going to spend one of my ether die here in order to cast my first Fortitude, so that I take no HP damage this turn and still gain a blessing for the next turn. Oh, blessing will not increase the ether because they're not rolled that turn. That makes sense. Let's inscribe the Growing Blade, which will cast it for the first time this turn. And now a single 1 will cast it again. Inscribe Fortitude now too. I love when Inscribe is the thing that gets the extra charge from Enchanting Effigy. Oh no, I'm sapped. I'm not getting extra strength out of this necessarily. That's okay. I've defended enough. Let's start generating some additional die. Is that going to be necessary? Inscribe Fortitude. Now we've got 1 costs on those. So now I don't have to worry about the thorns being dealt here. And in fact, I can set up for the next turn with a Glintglaive. Get the enemy down to 15 HP. The Growing Blade is already doing 20. Hell yeah. Gold, more weakness gas, and another spell. Gleaming Force is here. If I upgraded that to give 3 power, I could get 6 power every time. It costs 2 units in my bar, and I would need a good way to carry the damage as well. It's not useful for me. I'm gonna reroll again, looking for something else that might Be worth my while. Natural hardiness. Gain 7 block. Unfortunately, 7 is 1 short of the number I need to trigger the Horn of Virtue. On turn 1, gain 1 fortify. Oh, wow! Actually, on turn 1, gain 1 fortify. Fortify, +1 block gained from spells for the rest of the combat. So that will give us a blessing. Yeah, I'll take natural hardiness. Could theoretically be useful for us. Sanctuary, I'm going to disenchant a spell. I'm going to get Metamorphosis out of here. That's just not happening. Get some extra max HP. Head into the boss fight here. Do I need to take anything else in? I don't believe so. Oh my man, you got a lot of heads. That's 1,000 health right there. Oh, but on a Hydra head killed, it loses 200 health and then spawns 2 randomly colored heads. Okay. Green Hydra head is a pox bringer. On a blind attack, it applies 1 pox. And then it is also a summon. It's currently trying to give itself 1 power. Okay. I need the Fortitude train to start leaving the station, choo-choo. I believe I got the additionals on all of those. Because of how important it is, I'm actually going to severely overpay this turn for Blessing and Fortitude, but now it leaves me with 2 Ether, a 4, and a 3. I'm still fully defended this turn, and I have the 2 Blessing rolling into the next turn on top of the 1 barrier. Incroyable. That 2 is an easy Fortitude. I can cast Inscribe twice this turn. Okay, 1 goes into Growing Blade, and then I Inscribe with a 4 and a 1. Lower the cost of Growing Blade. Cast it. And put 6 into the Glintglaive. And then Inscribe again, lowering the cost of the Glowing Blade. 1 more time. And now we have a 6 on an Ether and a 4 on an Ether. That only really matters if it hits Glintglaive, though. Well, I guess Inscribe is also 5, so matters there too. One Glintglaive and 1 Growing Blade is enough to take out the front line. Although it is a summon, so it doesn't really matter that I use the Growing Blade last. Time for an inspection. Let's cast a Glintglaive first. There we go. Blade gets 1 down. I might as well preemptively strike 1 too. Now I only need to lower the cost of Glintglaive. That only needs to be a 5 to possibly trigger Inscribe, and then they never need to change again. Gotta gain this Fortitude. Inscribe the Glaive. And then I'll overspend on that just to take out one of the Hydras. Oh. They don't all seem that threatening to me. Apply 9 block to another random enemy, and their body is giving 2 power to another random enemy as well. Gotta generate some additional die so I can afford to cast these as many times as I want. I'm gonna focus on the Poxbringer in the back line there because I have the ability to take it out this turn, preventing its action entirely. And then let's prime the next Link Glaive. That'll do. Link Glaive activates twice off of the Ether Die and Inscribe. I'm just going to keep my Odd Cascade. I don't think I need to use it at the moment, but when I need to use it, I might suddenly really want to use it. So let's keep it available. Okay, so maximum of 3 heads. So it looks like the maximum amount of units on the board at any one time is 4. Now here's the tricky thing. I don't want to kill a Hydra head and have that kill the body. I need to kill the body myself so I can get the extra growth of the Growing Blade. Do need to lower the cost of Glint Glaive, but unfortunately if I instantly fully cast it, can't really do that. All good though. I'm sitting pretty and comfy and happy. These Ether Die are ridiculously accurate. And okay, we're within the ability to kill you next turn. And that's confirmed now. Growing Blade takes the kill, grows for it, and the heads flop off onto the ground. There's got to be an achievement for ignoring the heads entirely and just going for the body, right? Let's take the health, gold, a shard, and a boss artifact. Roll an extra dice per turn on enemy death, lose a health. Roll an extra dice per turn on each turn, receive 2 weak. Or Exuberant Wand, after you cast 12 spells, roll a dice. I really don't care about the 2 weak still. That said, I also don't really care about losing 1 health on an enemy death. I want to take the 2 weak. I want to avoid having to take any damage. Okay, we're also looking for another shard upgrade here. I could go for the extra damage on the Glaive. And it is effectively 12 extra damage every time I cast that Glaive. But I need an extra slot so I can put the natural hardiness in. You know how it is. Ooh, I can get 2 elites on this floor. But the shop is relatively early. Oh well, can't do too much about that. It's either an early shop or no shop. Oh, I love seeing so many targets for my blade. Let's inscribe Fortitude quickly. Perfect. Good block. I'm gonna take 1 damage this turn at the end. I will use the weakness gas to prevent that. The next spell cast does not cost any charge. I did forget about the Dwarven Tankard for a bit. I thought I was throwing away something that didn't have much value, but if it has Concoction, it actually has a lot more value. So, oops. Because I can cast Inscribe 3 times a turn with that. It's pretty good to do that, actually. It's actually considered pretty good when that happens. Here we go for another Inscribe. Let's set the Growing Blade up to actually be able to kill someone this turn as well. This time it actually will save me health. There we go with the blessings. We can inscribe to get another fortitude out there immediately. Let's go 2, 3. Take one of you out. And then it's time for more fortitude, I suppose. Maybe even some natural hardiness for more blessing. Definitely going to inscribe the natural hardiness again. Until end of turn, redirect targeted effects to the guarding enemy. I assume that's the guarding voidling there in the back line. Just got to generate a couple more ones for the sake of the fortitude. I know I'm not killing both of you this turn, so I could wait for the odd cascade. But also, there'll only be one of you next turn, so I don't have to wait for the odd cascade. 2, and then 2 Growing Blades is enough to take you out. Leaving just you and me, Fierce Voidling. How keen are you to die to a Growing Blade suddenly? Not especially, I hear you cry. Too late. Some gold, a regeneration vial, and another spell. Revitalize, +1 value to all dice. Well, hang on. That'd turn 6s into 6s and 1s. This gives me the ability to cast a lot more things. So preemptive strike, if the target is attacking, apply a mark to them. Deal 7 damage if it's lethal, roll a 5 and a 6. I'm gonna take a Revitalize. Do I have space for Revitalize here? Honestly, I think I could take Revitalize instead of Natural Hardiness and I'd be fine with it. Can even give us a blessing, although I don't think it needs to do that. Let's get another ritual. Add 1 charge to target spell from Astral Attunement seems like a really good idea. The ability to get another Inscribe going on turn 2, as well as the ability to get another Revitalize going on. Here's the early shop. It's either this or no shop. Roll 10 dice, deal 7 damage to a random enemy. Silver Hobuk reduces the HP loss by 1 at any one time, and each turn gain 1 power, receive 1 sap. Nope. Not my kind of thing. Frankly. I'm going to take the Silver Hobuk, because it actually could theoretically do something at some point, possibly. Iron Skin would give us 10 block. But I can buy that as well as another potion. Buy 3 marked as well. Cool, skip. And that's our last shop. Void Ooze. Let's go, Uzi. Inscribe to lower the cost of Fortitude seems great. And then a growth. A couple of times. Then I'm gonna inscribe revitalize roll. Because with that, I should be able to give +1 value to all dice. Boom. Gain another 1 back, as well as increase the value of all of those. Then I have the ability to use the first stack of Fortitude. Invest this 1 into something else like Growing Blade. And then the second stack of Fortitude. So I've got my Ether Dice to be a 3 and a 6. I've got 2 Blessing coming in for the next turn, as well as 1 Barrier. Growing Blades are ready to go out. Love it. Some regrowth out on the field. +1 charge to a random spell. I'm going to put it on Revitalize. Because with that, I can generate a ridiculous amount of die. So I'm looking for Inscribe, lowers the cost of Glintglaive, probably. Because I want to cast that as many times as I can this turn. 2 fortifies, and now Glintglaive is as powerful as it possibly can be, sorry. Splits into 2 smaller oozes when it dies. Dies. Keyword here is dies. I think I need to stop playing. I don't want to take this target out yet. Never mind. Don't even get the choice not to. Well, okay. If that's how it's gonna be, that's how it's gonna be. Let's start generating a bunch of additional ones on the field for the sake of the revitalize, which is about to go out. There goes Fortitude for him. 5 on Inscribe lowers the cost of Flint Glaive down to 6. A 6 and a 2 will get us partway there. And finish it off with another Growing Blade though, and then the Growing Blade can get halfway to the next kill, and I'll take it out next turn. Growing Blade all the way down to 1 cost. Entirely unnecessary, but cool. Golden Spell, Fleeting Might Morphosis. We've seen before. Fleeting Might 1 to 4, gain X power, but X drain as well. So X power, increased damage on X attacks. Sorry, increased damage on attacks by power. And drain, lose power for each stack at the end of the turn, then remove all drain. So it's temporary power. And then kill shot. Again, I'll take a reroll just to see what's out there. Mend Magic, add 1 charge to target spell for 5. Impure Ritual, gain 2 Foresight and receive 1 curse. Curse, next turn, all values, all dice value, lose 1. And then Proliferate finally. Sure, I'll take Proliferate, but I still don't want it. Lose the Iron Skin Potion, I can get Rewrite Reality. A 1 to 4 that rerolls the dice and gives us 1 block. Lose Aetherweave. Lose Aetherweave? What's the Aetherweave? Oh, that's my Ether. What? I should have been able to assume that, to be fair. It would give me a shard. I do want shards, but I'm about to get another 2. I don't think I need shards that badly. Lose Proliferate in order to gain 75 gold? Sure, because I don't want it in the first place. Not that the gold can do anything for me. Chaos on Jewel with your depleting presence. All of my spells only restore 1 charge per turn. That actually will be pretty sad. Woof. Also an incredibly low roll for our first roll there. Not the kind of thing you wanted to see. Scribe worked. Time to start popping out fortitudes. There we go. I'm well defended. The enemy is doing 5 extra damage on their next attack. That's 25 incoming damage. Fortitude casts itself twice at the start of this turn. Oh no, it only regained 1. Whoops. Oh, but if I let it deplete and then give it another charge, that's cool. I can deplete it again in the same turn. +1 value to all dice. And sure, I'll invest that in a Glint Glaive before I throw a Growing Blade out there. Just so I can increase my ether weaves. I could start using a regeneration vial next turn if I really wanted to. Get my health back. That would also give me a concoction, so it would save me a spell charge, and I do need things to save me spell charges in this fight. Yeah, admittedly, I probably ought. I'm gonna inscribe Glint Glaive 3 times this turn, lowering its costs ridiculously down to 4. Sorry, its cost is actually down to 5. Also gonna gain the Iron Skin. Full block this turn. I have another concoction going into the next. Which is gonna give my Revitalize the second ability. Just keep inscribing things while I can. Exhaust Fortitude, give it another charge, exhaust it again, so that I can get as much barrier as possible. And now it's time to just start throwing blades at this guy. 49 health remains. I think this is the turn that I take him out, so I'll roll the extra dice. Glaive number 1 lowers your health, number 2 continues, and then the Growing Blade finishes you off. This is a very slow deck. Really feel it. Bastion, increase block this combat. There's also the Maul, the Carapace. Nope. Reroll. Wild Strikes, Desolation. Deal X plus X damage, and on a 12, return the dice. That's pretty cool. You can often guarantee with a character that has access to Blessing and Regrowth, but just +1 to a random die. You can often, random to a specific die, you can often guarantee the activation of that Desolation. I'll take it. I'm not going to use it, but I will take it. I'll send spells, 6 damage to all enemies, or another shot. I'll take the shot, thank you. Revitalize giving us a Blessing could be cool. Yeah, the Blessing from Revitalize is pretty good. Especially because I often like to try and cast it multiple times a turn when given the opportunity. Oh, hello, Door to Beyond. So you summoned this unit in front of you, who is a summon unit, has Frenzy. When casting a spell, it gains 1 Fury. +1 to all die. There we go. And then pump up that fortitude as well. That's good block. That is some good block. I took all but 1 damage, and then that final damage was prevented by the Silver Hobok anyway. Oh, this is a board state for Revitalize. Especially 2 Revitalizes. All the Ether Die are now popping off. There goes one of the enemies. You're intending to summon more. That's fine. But have you considered my feelings on the issue? I want to deal you some damage about it. I can probably get the kill this turn, I think. I'll probably not with that chosen upgrade though. Let's get some extra ones. There we go, and we can revitalize even. We can even throw another 1 into a fortitude. That is 3 blessing here. Tell a lie, I can take the kill. With the growing blade at the very end. It's both glint glaives and both growing blades, but we get there. Weakness gas for the enemies. Primal Craze. Convert block to power and drain, unrestorable. Earthquake and Vine Grip, which we've seen before. I'm going to re-roll, looking for new things again. Gleaming Mana. Return dice with Glimmer. And gain a blessing. Or re-roll into a 4/2/6 with Glimmer. Those are cool, but it's not going to do anything for me, still. The deck stays the same. Oh. And then I get to use it in Scribe at the end. There's that Revitalize popping off. 3 blessing to take into our next turn. And you're currently trying to do 24 damage to us. I mean, I could throw a weakness at you if I really wanted to. So if I cast Fortitude, Revitalize, or Glintglaive, I am going to spawn an instability. Only the first time it's cast each turn. And Revitalize already cast itself, so guess we're doing that. That's fine, I'm happy to spawn him. I can kill him in a single Glintglaive. Okay. Throwing Blade takes 1. Takes 2. Doesn't grow either time, but it still takes him. Enemy is trying to do 19 damage to me and heal for the amount of damage dealt. I'm going to allow myself to cast Inscribe again, so that I can start investing in a cheaper Glint Glaive to help work this health down. Perfect. Generate some extra 1s again for the same reason. Revitalize, and then I've got my 2s for the Fortitude. Big old Drone Blades. And yeah, I have the ability to give you 2 Glint Glaives as well. Yeah, Glint Glaive upgraded for damage would now be giving 18 extra damage consistently. Each time it's cast. That's pretty significant. I think you can really turn your nose up at that. That said, I will be ending the fight with the Growing Blade. Turn my nose up at the enemy and walk into the final one. Gain another spell. Iron Skin Potion. Wow, I just get the same potions back. Flourish. Roll 2 5s to 6. Decrease the cost of that enough. And give it extra charges, and it generates a ridiculous amount of die. I just don't think you need it. Sanctify Shell. Depleted. Roll a 5 to 6. Cool. Leading Force. I'm going to reroll here again just to see new stuff. And I'll take the ultimate power that I already said no to. Illumined Necklace we saw earlier. For each 3 attack spells cast in a single turn, deal 10 damage to an enemy. Not interested. I will take the Shard. And I don't really want to return the same dice with Glimmer. That just doesn't seem useful. Natural Hardiness could be good. If I had 2 Fortify and was gaining 6 block, that gives me the ability to gain a lot more blessing. But I would have to open a slot, and I would also have to put it in. I think I do need more damage. But I could also get that more damage by having more block. I'm going to take the slot. I'm going to put Natural Hardiness in. Head to a Sanctuary. We'll disenchant a spell. Let's get to the ultimate power out there. 8 more max HP. And it's time for the final boss battle. This one's going to be a slow one. But I can only do 200 damage per turn anyway, which is fine, because I can't do that. It's Glimmer to get all these additional +1s everywhere. And then I'll inscribe into Revitalize. This one to Blessing. There we go. Five, a 4, and a 3 into Fortify. There we go. Good defense. I'm going to take no damage this turn. As well as having the 3 Blessing and the 1 Barrier going forward. Also got the Fortify, but that's just from Natural Hardiness literally existing at all. It just gives me that on turn 1 free. Fortitude is broken this turn and will need to be fixed. Which is more than fine by me. a 1 into Fortitude to open it, and then I'm going to add an extra charge to Inscribe and cast that twice this turn, because that's... A lot of our ramping is represented directly in Inscribe. Perfect. Natural hardiness, though. I don't think I just routinely cast that right now. I think I actually start going for damage. Throw the blade at him a couple times. Unfortunately, the broken ones cannot be downgraded in cost, so I guess I'm going to be downgrading the cost of natural hardiness this time. I'm also going to make sure that I re-roll my cascade die, rather than just letting them go to waste as I've been doing a little bit right now. Let's regrowth for a bunch of extra die, and then double revitalize. Got ones to break those open as well. Double fortify even. Five for natural hardiness, and now Glintglaive is at maximum power. Let's put a 6 and a 6 into it. And then a 3, a 3, a 3, and a 6. Perfect. Take Growing Blade's cost down and move into the next turn. Turn them all into 6s. Immediately. Okay, I still do want to be lowering costs here, so I think I will be going with another Inscribe. Adding another charge to that spell. I've got to make sure that I can always defend myself first. But now that's done with Fortify and Natural Hardiness down at 1 cost apiece. I'm going to be able to get all of my Blessing and all of my defense, and then translate all of that into ridiculous damage. More Growing Blades on you while we're waiting. Hey, we got you to transition phase. Hell yeah. Starting to gain power every turn, are you? 36 damage. Oh boy. You've really got plans for me. Far be it from me to keep you waiting. Lower the cost of the Glintglaive. Regrowth to summon excess ones to fill Fortify and Natural Hardiness. Yep, that's 36 in defense, as well as 5 barrier and the 1 block from Silver Herbert. Four into the Glintglaive, and that'll do 40 damage to you. And then 2 6s in it. Easy. 40 damage. Regrowth gets us a +1, so that I can get a Growing Blade out on the end of the turn, just for funsies. Add 1 charge to target spell, eh? Another Revitalize at this point, maybe? No, it's Inscribe again. Can't believe I thought anything else. Because the cost of Glintglaive needs to come down. Ideally, I'm able to cast it with just 1 dice, which is now the case. 1 in Fortify, 2 in Revitalize, 2 in Hardiness. And then it's time to throw the benefits of all of that at the enemy. Beauty. Still haven't used any of these potions. Wow, the Glinklave is cast 2 times for free by the Ether. But unfortunately, I had no blessing beforehand, so it's basically as little damage as it possibly could have done. I'm going to gain 12 block so that I have Concoction, causing the next spell not to take any charge, then Revitalize. Then I'm going to drink the Marking one and Revitalize again. And then I'm going to drink the Weakness Gas and do it again. Five. This is 25 die. I needed to have 25 die active at any particular time in order to complete another one of my missions for unlocking things. So, yay! We did it. Inscribe that Growing Blade just to reduce its costs. And one more inscribe on that Growing Blade, and then I will never need to do it ever again. 8 blessing. I can gain 8 blessing. My die get +8. Please don't just cast Glinklave twice here again. Actually, that might have been more appropriate at this point. Ah, well. Hit him with a Growing Blade, and then hit him with another Growing Blade for fun. Growing Blade gets to 30 at the very, very end of the run. All right. Hey, that's enough experience to get to level 3, even past level 2. We did get 20 barrier, 500 damage, 25 plus available diet. We won using an Earth A and whatever the final modifier there said. Using probably setup, loadout A. No, Earth A, that is the loadout. Don't know what the final one was then. Oh, level 2 for Earth. Unlocked Mutation Stage 2. Delving further into the abyss, your understanding of the Voidwalkers grows. Well, that seemed like a pretty good run to me. Let's see what we've unlocked. Unlocked loadout, the Beast Within. So this is for Earth. The signature spell is 3 on a countdown, and 2 times a turn, it will roll a 5 or a 6 for you. 3 countdown to cast. Cool. There's also Boulder Toss, 7 countdown to cast, 2 times a turn, it can deal 8 damage, and then Rampart. For 5 to 6, it will give you 5 block, twice a turn. The unlocked Tome of Cubomancy. New spells are now unlocked in the Tome of Cubomancy, or can be unlocked in the Tome of Cubomancy. Unlock character Azar, the Cinder Conjurer, who I'll play in the next episode. Feed his spells with mana fragments, and unleashes devastating flames. There's also a new spell available in the Tome of Protection, and the Tome of Offense, and a new artifact in the Artifact Vault. Let's look at that quickly. Artifact Vault has Ma'ali. On a 1 rolled, destroy it, and gain 1 barrier. So you can never roll a 1, but you gain a bunch of barrier. That seems pretty cool. There's also a Tome of Protection spell, Transfigure. Deplete another spell and gain 3 block for each depleted. Tome of Offense has the Forbearance, 12 countdown, and you can cast it 3 times a turn. It does 8 damage, and on any dice rolled, it lowers its countdown by 1. That's cool. And a Tome of Cubomancy, which now has the ability to help us unlock more stuff. And the first unlock will come after gaining 20 Foresight. Maybe Azar has a bunch of Foresight in their deck. I mean, both Lapis and Hazel have had Foresight somewhere. So we'll see if we can get that complete in the next episode. But until then, my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game? Well, it's been SpellRogue. Top left is a series playlist for all of my content on the game past, present, and future. Down below is YouTube's recommendation for what it thinks you should watch next. Stream class and the names of the people so generally supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays at or above the thank tier. And a special thanks this episode to Kimaru. Hopefully you'll all have been enjoying yourselves and hopefully we'll see you all next time.